Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police with Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog breaking the trail in the relentless pursuit of lawbreakers in the wild days of the Yukon. Back to the days of the gold rush as Sergeant Preston with his wonder dog Yukon King meets the challenge of the Yukon. This is the Yukon in Arctic winter, the territory patrolled by Sergeant Preston, where the boundary between Alaska and Canada often meant much more to the criminal than a division of two countries. Eagle, Alaska, a few miles from the United States border, the Northwest Mounted Police had received reports that men were smuggling tobacco across the border into the Yukon. Sergeant Preston was at Fort Harper, north of Dawson, when an assignment came by telegraph directing him to bring in the tobacco smugglers. As the sky clouded over and it began to snow, the Indians who worked at the station helped him harness the team. Having been idle for several days, the dogs were excited and eager to hit the trail. They sensed from Preston's manner that this was an urgent trip. But Preston had one advantage he could always count on. A fine team led by his great lead dog, Yukon King. And his huskies were never in better condition than they were now.
On your huskies!
Confidently, he headed for the border, not realizing he would soon meet one of the most dangerous criminals of his career, a man of brute strength called Rusty.
Prospectors.
A full sled load of provisions, too. Hey, Rusty?
Just what the doctor ordered. How'll we get him, Rusty? Same as usual? Skeeter? Tim says Rusty knocks him out with the first punch.
Listen to sure thing, Jake. No, thanks, not me. I'll save my money.
Let's get to work.
Hey!
Looks like we're gonna have visitors.
Hold our team there, boys.
Hi there.
What are you toting on the sled?
We don't mind telling you, mister, but that's a funny way of asking, I'd say.
Feel like doing something about it? Feel like getting tough?
Look, we don't want no trouble. What's this all about?
I asked you what's on the sled. I want a straight answer.
Grub, provisions. We expect to stay out for a couple of months.
Just what we need, boys. Put their grub on our sled.
You're taking our grub? You can't do that.
Want to try stopping me? Come on. I'm giving you an invite. I don't have a gun or a knife, just my two bare hands.
On a special assignment, Sergeant Preston was patrolling the border looking for the tobacco smugglers who had been reported in the area.
Don't blame you, King. Must be the rankest pipe in the territory. Good work, boy. Sooner or later, that trail of pipe dawdle is going to lead us to the man we want. There's a camp down there. Things don't look right either. Let's go down there and have a look. We'll head for that camp, King. On you, Huskies.
A dog team. One man. This time I take no chances. That's a warning shot. Stay where you are.
Oh! Hold your fire. I'm Sergeant Preston of the Mounted Police.
I'm sorry. I can't take any chances. Come ahead with your hands up. That's far enough.
Easy, King. Sounds more frightened than dangerous. I'll leave you here with the team.
Open your parka. And you're welcome, Sergeant. Plenty welcome. We've had a heap of trouble around here.
Accident?
No, robbers. Came just before dawn. 3 of them.
Was one a big man, a pipe smoker?
Yeah, no?
No, but he leaves huge footprints in a trail of pipe ashes. They're tobacco smugglers.
Just plain thieves to me. And the worst kind, too. Stole our supplies, left us dogs we can't feed, and my partner's in there with busted ribs.
How do you feel, old-timer?
Not so good.
Eagle's the closest town. It's on the Alaska side. You better get him to a doctor.
Much obliged, Sergeant. But how about the smugglers? They might still be around here. If you go with us, you lose them.
Well, chances are they're headed there, too, for more tobacco. Let's get your sled together here and take him in.
After taking the 2 prospectors to a doctor in Eagle, Preston went directly to the U.S. Marshal's office.
Sergeant.
Evening, Marshal.
Hi, King.
Watch the team, King.
Come on in.
Well, how have you been, Marshal?
Pretty good. Now, sir, what's your problem? I know you didn't cross the border just to see me.
As a matter of fact, it is business. Tobacco smugglers.
Ha! You too.
Well, then I take it you've had tobacco theft.
You bet we have. But no suspects as yet. How about you?
Well, about 2 weeks ago, a constable in our customs service was found badly injured. Crushed chest.
Crushed chest.
Just as if he'd been hugged by a Kodiak bear. Tried to stop some freighters for a routine inspection, and they jumped him. The last thing he remembers is a very rank-smelling pipe and 2 huge arms around his chest squeezing the life out of him.
Big pipe-smoking man, huh?
You know such a man?
Several. All solid citizens. Is that all you have?
No, there's more. Last week, I found a trapper on the trail with a broken neck. Beside him were ashes from a pipe, the same rank-smelling pipe.
The bone crusher again, huh?
Exactly. King has followed a trail of pipe dawdle all the way from 40 Mile to a 0.5 miles on the other side of the border. Yesterday, I found 2 prospectors, one badly bruised and the other with broken ribs. I brought them to town. They're at Doc Hanford's now.
Well, then they saw the men that jumped him.
Yes, they did. The pipe smoker's a big gorilla with a red beard and enormous strength. Calls himself Rusty. The other 2 men are with him. They stole enough supplies from the prospectors to last a month.
But I still don't see what makes you think they're headed this way.
Well, it's a matter of logic, mostly. If they don't intend making another tobacco raid this side of the border, then why steal the provisions? On the other hand, if they do plan to make a raid, they'll have to run for the wilderness and hide out until things cool down.
And so they need the provisions.
Then you agree with my reasoning.
Sounds good to me.
All right. You take it from here, Marshal. This is your territory. If we catch the crooks, they're all yours.
I'm afraid you're still a little ahead of me, Sergeant. just how do we catch them?
Well, put a night guard on the tobacco supply. If they strike, that's where it's most likely to be.
Well, there's tobacco at the freight depot, the warehouse, and the general store.
Put a guard in all three places.
But there's only two of us for a job like this, Sergeant, and they're spread all over town.
Don't forget King.
Think he's as good a Mountie as you?
Sometimes better.
All right. We'll assign him to the warehouse. But what if he barks and scares them off?
Well, King is trained to obey instructions. If I tell him not to bark, but to come to me, we may catch the crooks in the act.
Okay. Then I'll take the freight depot, because that's the place they're most likely to strike.
Well, now, wait a minute, Marshal. Aren't you being a little selfish?
Oh, this is my territory.
Well, I know, but after all, I trailed these crooks all the way up here.
Now, look, if you think for a minute I'm letting you have the spot where you're most likely to see action. All right, I'll tell you what, Sergeant. We'll flip a coin. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
I'd call it.
Heads.
Heads it is. You take the freight depot. But don't blame me if the big redhead knocks your block off.
The town of Eagle, Alaska continued its ordinary daily life, unaware of the trouble that might explode momentarily at any one of three places within its limits. For the next 4 nights, from the vantage point of a nearby house, Sergeant Preston kept a constant vigil on the freight depot. The general store was guarded by U.S. Marshal Wilson, who waited in the back room. And Preston's great dog, King, patrolled the warehouse where a large amount of tobacco was stored. The guardians of the law were well into their 4th night of patient watching and waiting. At the sound of the strange team, Yukon King swiftly and silently ran off immediately to summon Preston.
Let's get to work.
Good boy, King. Come on, let's go.
Go get the Marshal. Go get the Marshal.
All right, Rusty, put it down.
All right, say there, Rusty. Put your hands behind you.
Go!
Stop or I'll fire!
Oh!
All right, turn this team around and head back. Hurry up.
While Rusty applied his almost superhuman strength to break loose, King was hurrying back with the Marshal, but they had to come from the other side of town.
right there. Inside. All right, get over there.
Let's go. By the time he comes to, we'll be well down the trail. The trail's so beaten, no one can follow it. Come on. Jake's waiting with the other sled loaded with supplies.
Come on, Rusty.
With Preston out of the way, Rusty felt that he was in complete control of the situation and arrogantly refused to hurry. What he did not reckon on was the arrival of Yukon King.
All right.
More? No, thanks. That's enough. Well, I guess I was lucky at that. Might have broken my ribs.
It's not such a trick if you have the strength. Collapse a man's lungs and hold him so he can't fill them with air. Same as choking him. What amazes me is how he broke that handcuff chain.
Well, it's been done before by a few very strong men. I should never have taken the chance.
Well, he may be as strong as a bear, but he's just as stupid. Why, he didn't even think to get the key to the handcuff out of your pocket.
Well, you can always file them off. Thanks for the loan of the gun. I'm ready.
Well, hadn't you better wait till morning?
What, and let the trail get cold?
Well, I'll take King and trail him.
Well, they're very likely headed for the border. If they cross it, you have no authority to arrest them. We'd better go together.
It's up to you.
That sounds the team. King's found something. Pipe dottle. King's on the right track, all right.
Yeah, appears like he's found something else.
Oh, piece of filed handcuff.
Yeah, we better move on.
Yeah, we'll have to be careful. They'll be leaving the trail to cross the border at an unguarded point.
Or hold up for a while.
Well, either way, we're going to have to give King a chance to show us where they leave the trail. Come on. I'll keep on driving, Marshal.
You sure you feel up to it?
Never felt better in my life.
You took quite a beating.
Now, look, Marshal.
No sense arguing, Sergeant. All we have to do is flip a coin. Tails. On, King. On, you Huskies.
King wants to leave the trail.
Well, he hasn't been wrong yet.
All right.
Ho, you Huskies! Ho! Oh, this can't be a trail. It's too rugged.
Yeah, it may be leading to the hideout, Marshal. Remember those stolen provisions. Let's go on.
On, you Huskies!
Oh, you Huskies. What's the matter, boy? He's warning us about something. Let's take a look.
Hideout?
Yeah, very likely. Well, there's not much doubt about their being in there.
Just a question of how to take them.
Now, wait a minute, Marshal. That's my job. This is Canadian soil. Now, you stay here and cover me. Try to capture anyone that may try to leave.
Beg your pardon, Sergeant. I'm the one that moves in. This is Alaska.
Can you prove that?
No, but you can't prove this is Canada either, so I'll move in and you cover me.
Now, wait a minute. We'll settle this.
Pull him. Heads.
All right. But take King with you. If you need me, send up a shot and I'll be right in. King, you go with him.
As the Marshal, accompanied by Yukon King, crept up on the cabin, he was relieved to discover that Rusty, overconfident as usual, hadn't posted an outside guard.
Keep your hands right there on the table, boys.
Hey, what's the idea, mister?
I'm Marshal Wilson. You're under arrest for robbery. Neither of you two look like a bone crusher. Where's he? The one called Rusty.
He's out hunting somewhere.
Get up and get back against the wall. Keep your hands up.
There we are, Monty. Unhook and drop your gun. Move back. Now turn around. Try giving any kind of a signal. It'll be the last noise you ever make. Now head for the cabin.
The sergeant knew that a hand-to-hand fight with a huge man might be disastrous. Yet if he could run the risk of a shot, it would warn the Marshal.
I wouldn't try that again if I were you. Get your hands up.
Well, it was worth a try.
But the big man was faster in mind and body than Preston guessed.
Doing fine. Real nice, boys.
King was restless. He knew that neither of these was the man his master wanted. The tobacco smell was there, but neither of the prisoners carried the scent he knew so well.
Settle down, boy. The sergeant's coming. Watch the prisoners, King. I'll take a look.
Drop your gun, Marshal, or the sergeant's a dead man. Jake, Skeeter, pick up his gun. You guys in there, I said, pick up his gun.
We can't. The dog won't let us.
The dog won't. Step back, Marshal. Move inside, Sergeant.
Get him, King!
After bandaging his slightly wounded hand, Preston and the U.S. Marshal still had one problem to settle. The side of the border they were on would determine whether the two remaining crooks were Canadian or American prisoners.
I'm sorry, Marshal. But according to their own map, the cabin is on Canadian soil. See? Chilcoot Creek runs to the left of the cabin when you face north.
Okay, Sergeant, you win. I wanted them on charges of robbery, but seeing that you can nail them for smuggling and attempted murder, why, they're all yours.
You'd better come on to Dawson with me anyway. I'll need you as an official witness.
You need me like a left hind foot. But seeing I'm so close and never having been to Dawson, tell you what. Heads it is, I go.
Good. Well, King, this case is closed.